Hey everybody, Timmy Flyers guy here. I wanted to come on here and talk to all of you. Got lots of things to talk about. I want to address the elephant in the room with the Philadelphia Flyers right now. I want to give you an overview of how long I've been doing YouTube, and these videos do coincide with how long this drought has been going on. So I've been doing YouTube for about, let's see, 2019. I've been doing YouTube for about several years now. Just started this channel in 2019. And when I started this channel, the Philadelphia Flyers did not make the playoffs in the 2018-2019 season. In 2018, I officially started Flyers not 2018, in 2019-2020. The 2019-2020 season, I officially premiered Flyers pregame report, and in that first year of that show, the Flyers officially made the playoffs that year. Now, the playoffs that year did not have the same experience as if there were fans in the crowd. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the Flyers playoff season had a different feel to it. They had to play in that bubble in Toronto. The Eastern Conference teams will play in Toronto, and the Western Conference teams will play in Edmonton. And I remember that I was doing pregame report at the time. And when they got into the playoffs, I remember they faced off against the Montreal Canadiens. They eliminated Montreal, faced off against the Islanders in the second round. And were officially eliminated. Flyers were eliminated from the playoffs in the second round of 7 games at the hands of the Islanders. Now, the 2021 season, it was a strange season. Flyers ended up becoming winless in games. Players were out due to the protocol, and the term taxi squad was officially invented in the 2021 season. We get and that season lasted until May, and it was an absolute nightmare of a Flyers season. Fast forward to the 2021-2022 season. Same thing happened. Well, it was a bad season. Ryan Ellis got hurt. Alain Vigneault was fired. And Mike Yeo took over as interim head coach. Fast forward to the 2022-2023 season. Flyers bring in John Tortorella, and this was when I officially started the Orange and Black recap. And ever since I've been doing the Orange and Black recap, I have never been able to recap a Philadelphia Flyers playoff game because they have not made the playoffs in 5 seasons. Ever since I started the Orange and Black recap in the 2022-2023 season, Flyers have not made the playoffs. Now, this is not bad luck. It's not a case. I'm not blaming the show for that. But this is just an observation of when I first started the Orange and Black recap. I've never recapped a Flyers playoff game. And it's just a tough thing for me to go through. And I've been doing YouTube since 2019. Actually, I've done it way before that in 2010, but around 2019, my channel got removed. So I had to start over, and I created a channel in 2019 called Timmy's Flyers Guy. And for 1 year, the Flyers made the playoffs within 2019-2020. And that was just a year after I first created the second channel. And I'm going to say it right now. Things are tough right now. It's tough to be a Flyers fan. It's really tough because there's no escape from it. Go on social media, see all kinds of stuff about this Flyers team. I go on Twitter. I see trade rumors. I go on Twitter. I see Flyers nitty gritty posting about the Flyers. Flyers Daily posting about the Flyers. Snow the goalie posting about the Flyers. Hunter Brody posting about the Flyers. I've been posting about the Flyers all season. As you can see, it's on my Orange and Black rehab videos. I had a lot of complaints. I have a lot of grievances. At first, I thought it was because there was conspiracy theory against this team, and then it dawned on me that this whole conspiracy theory, maybe it's a bunch of BS. And I realized that, I'm spewing a bunch of bullshit about the NHL, about Gary Bettman. And I realized it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a Philadelphia Flyers problem. That's what it is. What I've been seeing in these last games, and I said to myself, Self, how do the Flyers beat the Colorado Avalanche? And then a really good team. And then come home and get shut out by the Islanders for nothing. I thought to myself, I can't believe that this is happening. And then, myself told me that, this is really happening. It's really happening, bro. It's really happening. And I said to myself, but I'm trying to add effect here. So, I said to myself, things are not going good for this Philadelphia Flyers team. And a lot of people will agree with me. This team looks like a lost team. They look like lost little puppies out there that have no idea where they are or no idea what they're doing. The only players that have been standouts this season would have to be Dan Lazar, Trevor Zegras, Owen Tippett, Travis Konecny, and Nikita Grbanket, even though they keep Nikita Grbanket out of the lineup a lot. We kind of no idea why they do that. And you also cannot forget about guys like Bobby Brink, Jamie Drysdale, although Drysdale has not been doing much lately. But I'm going to say right now, things are not going good for this Flyers team. Ever since I've been doing this YouTube channel, the only time I've seen this team ever make the playoffs was in 2020. To this day, I've seen them make the playoffs before that, but it was before I had a YouTube channel. Because I look back at the good old days. I still, to this day, bring up the 2009-2010 season. That season started out well, but then the injuries started to pile up. And I tell this story about 1,000 times about that season. The Flyers looked like a team that was not going to make the playoffs. And then all of a sudden, it's like a switch was flipped. They had the last game of the season against the Rangers. They beat the Rangers in a shootout. Unbelievable. No Flyers fan saw that coming. I didn't see it coming. It just hit me like that. I did not see that coming. All of a sudden, we were like, oh, Flyers did it. They got into the playoffs. Let's see how they do. Bam, they get in there, beat the Devils in 5 games, play the Bruins. They lose 3 games in that series against the Bruins. They come back, tie the series, force a game 7 in Boston, down 3-0 in the game. They come back, they tie it up. 3rd period, power play goal. Simon Gagne gives the Flyers the 4-3 lead. They beat the Bruins, and we said to ourselves, they beat the Bruins. How the hell did the Flyers come back from 3 games to 9 and beat the Boston Bruins? How the hell did it happen? Is this real? Are we dreaming? Did this really happen? Welcome to the next day after that game. And I said to myself, I wonder if this really happened. Then I turned on the TV, put the news on, and it was real, baby. It was damn real. Flyers then face off against Montreal in the Eastern Conference Finals. Flyers in the first 2 games in dominating fashion. They get smoked in Montreal. They come back to Philly. They win game 4. They come back. If they're losing game 3, they win game 4 in Montreal. Come back to Philly for game 5. Beat Montreal to become Eastern Conference champions. Nobody in Philly saw that coming. Nobody. It just came out of nowhere. It just came out of nowhere. And then Flyers make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. They face off against the Blackhawks. They lose the first 2 games in Chicago. They come back to Philly, win game 3 in overtime, win game 4, and then they go to Chicago. They lose in game 5, come back for game 6. Things looking good for the Flyers. They tie it up in the 3rd period. They go to overtime. And nobody in Philly would ever expect this to happen. Michael Leighton was in a soft goal in game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 6. Flyers lose to the Chicago Blackhawks. But that season, that playoff run is unforgettable. It is an unforgettable playoff run that fans still talk about today. Because in my opinion, it was the last great playoff season. Well, 2019, 2020. But that didn't come close to 2009. That didn't come close to the 2010 playoff run that this Flyers team had. That run, you guys like Chris Pronger, Mike Richards, Jeff Carter, James Van Riemsdyk, Matt Coral, Brian Boucher, Michael Leighton, Ray Emery, although he got injured late in the season. After that season, it was an unforgettable playoff run for everybody. Everybody that year could not stop talking about that playoff run. Fast forward to the later season. Flyers make the playoffs. They face off against Buffalo, which would ironically be Buffalo Sabres' last playoff appearance. And the Flyers, they get in that series. They lose game one to Buffalo Sabres. They get shut out. Game two, Flyers get a big victory over the Sabres. Flyers get a victory in game three. Flyers got this series. Buffalo ties at Buffalo. Wins game four. They win game five. Goes to a game six. Flyers win in game six. Billy Lano. Another name I forgot to mention. Billy Lano gets the goal for the Flyers in game six. They go into game seven. Flyers absolutely embarrass the Sabres in game seven. Next opponent, Boston Bruins. We all have high hopes going into the series. We all think the Flyers are just going to take it to the Boston Bruins. Game one starts. And already it's not looking good. Flyers are getting dominated by the Boston Bruins. Game two, Flyers play some good hockey. James Van Riemsdyk gets 2 goals in that game. Boston ties it up. Game goes into overtime. Bruins win in overtime. Take a 3-0 lead in the series. And we say to ourselves, well, we've been here before. Down 3-0 against the Bruins in the semifinals. Maybe we can do it again. Guess what? Game 4 Flyers, they get 1 goal. Well, actually, game 2. They lose game 2. Game 3, Boston Bruins completely decimate the Flyers. Game 4 Flyers, they get a goal. And that game is still lose to Boston. They get swept by the Boston Bruins. In the offseason, Flyers part ways with Mike Richards and Jeff Carter. In 2011-2012, they bring in Hall of Famer Jaromir Jagr. I am not kidding. Hall of Famer Jaromir Jagr. They bring in Wayne Simmons from the LA Kings. They trade Mike Richards and Jeff Carter. Carter goes to the Mike Richards goes to the LA Kings. In exchange for Wayne Simmons, Jeff Carter gets traded to Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for Jake Voracek. Flyers make the playoffs that year. They absolutely embarrassed the Penguins in 3 games in the first round. Actually, Flyers do win games 1 and games 2, both in overtime. No, well, actually, game 1 was overtime. Flyers came from behind to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in game 2. They win game 3, lose game 4, 10-3, get beat by Pittsburgh. In game 5, we're saying to ourselves, oh my God, not again. Not again. Flyers win game 6, eliminate the Penguins, go on to face the New Jersey Devils. They win game 1 against the Devils. Danny Briere gets the overtime game winner. Game 2 Flyers get completely embarrassed. Game 3 more of the same. Game 4 more of the same. Flyers get eliminated by the New Jersey Devils. 3-1. We go into the off season. And we find out that there's going to be a lockout. And half of the season will be delayed. And Flyers missed the first half of that season. Flyers had an abbreviated 2013 season. A very abysmal Flyers season. And that would be the last season that we would see Ilya Bryzgalov in Philly. that was basically it for him. Fast forward to 2013, 2014 Flyers have an abysmal start to the season. They have an abysmal preseason. Flyers, they get smoked by the Washington Capitals. Yeah, all hell breaks loose. The Flyers go nuts. They have things absolutely fall off the rails. Ray Emery absolutely destroys Braden Holtby in a fight. This was the wake-up call for the Flyers. They go into December, and they were pretty damn good. December Flyers get an overtime victory. Get a victory over Columbus Blue Jackets. Paul Drew scores a goal at the last minute of the third period to win the game. Flyers go into the holiday break. After the holiday break, they beat the Canucks. They beat the Oilers in a shootout. They beat the Canucks in a shootout. And they beat the Calgary Flames. They come home to Philly. They beat the Dallas Stars in February. And the Flyers go on a tear. They beat the Florida Panthers. They get a point over the Tampa Bay Lightning late in the season. They made the playoffs. They face off against the New York Rangers. Flyers lose to the Rangers in 7 games. Going to 2014, 2015. And the Flyers have a very abysmal season. They don't make the playoffs. Fast forward to 2015, 2016 Flyers make the playoffs. They get eliminated by the Washington Capitals. They win 1 game in that series. And the Flyers, they lose that game. They lose the series. 2016, 2017, they have an epic winning streak throughout November and throughout December. Flyers did not like the playoffs that year. Flyers, they go into the 2017-2018 season with a draft pick by the name of Nolan Patrick. He becomes quite a bust for his Philadelphia Flyers team. And the Flyers, they made the playoffs that season. They played the Penguins. And I remember that last game of that series, Flyers had everything under control until Pittsburgh just completely just took over that game. It was a repeat of the 2009 Eastern Conference quarterfinals with the Pittsburgh Penguins against this game where Dan Porcello dropped the gloves with Max Talbot, which changed the momentum for the Penguins in that game. This game was like a repeat of that game, except without the fighting. And then we get into 2019-2018. And the Flyers don't make the playoffs despite having a good showing. That season, they did fail to make the postseason that year. And that is when I officially created this YouTube channel in 2019. Flyers Pregame Report made its premiere in October of 2019. And I've still been doing Flyers Pregame Report ever since that time. After that season, 2019-2020, Flyers have a very tough start to the season. They beat the Devils in the first game of that season. And then the struggles start to occur after the holidays. They have a horrible Western Conference road trip. February through March is where this team really turned things around. They brought 2 guys into the fold of this team. The players they had that year were Kevin Hayes, Matt Niskanen, Tyler Pitlick, Brian Elliott, and Carter Hart. And then a couple other guys did late in the season. Nate Thompson. And who was the other guy? I forget who the other guy was, but Nate Thompson was one of them. They go into March, and all of a sudden, real-life pandemic hits us. And this is where I can see the bad omen coming for this Flyers team. They don't, like I said earlier, said it would happen in 2020. They make the playoffs get eliminated by the New York Islanders. And this would be the last time I would be doing a pregame playoff report for the Philadelphia Flyers. 2020 was the last time the Flyers made the playoffs. And the sad part about that, when they made the playoffs that year, there was no fans in the audience. There was no fans in the audience. There was no cheering of "Let's go Flyers." There was cheering, but it was crowd noise. It was basically sound effects. Basically a soundboard that they were using. And that's the sad part. The last time the Flyers made the playoffs, there was nobody in the crowd. Nobody in the crowd at all. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. And then after that, 2021, up to 2026, it's been an absolute nightmare. But it's been a trend for the past 3 seasons. Great first half, lousy second half. And it's been a theme with this hockey team for 3 seasons already. And I know it's tough. I know it's hard, but I just have to stick it out. There's something I said today. I'm about to comment on a YouTube video about the Flyers. And I said this. Sometimes you have to go through the bad times to get to the good times. And as fans, we've gone through a lot of bad times. But in the past, we've gone through a lot of good times. 2006, 2007. That was a bad time. After that, we had some good times. And sometimes you gotta get through the bad times to get to the good times. Not just in hockey, but in life as well. I've had a lot of bad times in my life. But I've also had a lot of good times. But I've had a lot of bad times. And I realized that sometimes you gotta go through a lot of bad times before you get to the good times. And that's how I feel about that. It sucks that we may not be making the playoffs this season. I could be wrong, but from the way it looks right now, it's a bit of a long shot. But I'm not going to let that discourage my passion. I'm not going to let that upset me. I'm not going to say, hey, woe is me. I'm not going to say my life is over because of hockey. Because honestly, my life isn't always about hockey. My life doesn't revolve around Flyers hockey all the time. There are many things in my life that I'm happy about right now. I'm happy that I get to come on here and express myself. I'm happy that I have a cat named Gritty that's one of the best cats I've ever had in a while. And my family, they've been my biggest supporters. My friends have been my biggest supporters as well. And I do these videos for them because they support me. They're my inspiration. And I know that I really want this virus to be able to help someday. But to tell you the truth, with the friends I have in my life and the great family I have, the great friends and family that I have in my life, I'm truly happy. I feel like a champion. And yeah, Stanley Cup does seem nice. But you know what really makes you a champion is the people in your life, the friends, the family, relatives, uncles, the people who supported me. They make me feel like I'm a champion. I may not be a Stanley Cup champion, but damn it, I feel like a champion. Because I have so many great people in my life, so many great friends, great family members, great nurses to come here and take care of me every day. And I'm grateful for that. I mean, so what if they haven't won a Stanley Cup yet? I'd really like to see them do that one day, but I feel like the goal of making the playoffs has outweighed my goal of seeing the Flyers win the Stanley Cup. I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna give up on that dream. I'm not gonna give up. Because sometimes in life, when you have a dream, it's not gonna come true right away. You really have to work at it. You have to be patient. You have to be determined. You can't obsess over it. You can't let the fact if you can't achieve your dream, you can't let that consume you. Because you don't want to discourage yourself. You gotta believe in yourself before you believe in your hockey team. I believe in myself. I still believe in my hockey team despite the way things are going. Because a wise man once told me, you gotta stick with your team. No matter what, you gotta stick it out. No matter what, not wise man. Was my father, Christopher M. Sulak. My father, one of the greatest Philadelphia Flyers fans of all time. My father. A man who saw the Philadelphia Flyers win 2 Stanley Cups. I miss him every day. Every time I think, you know what my dad say to me? I mean, I always said to myself, this fun, with everything going on with this team for the past 3 seasons, I always thought about what would my dad say? What would my dad say to me about this? He'd probably say this. Yeah, things suck right now, but you gotta stick it out. You gotta believe in your team. You gotta stick with your team. You cannot be a fair weather fan. Don't give up, son. Don't give up. That's what he would tell me. And those words have stuck with me for years. And I know that I'm not the only Flyers fan who's lost a loved one. I know how that feels. It just sucks because I wish that me and my dad could have experienced 2019, 2020 season together. I wish that my dad was able to experience the Lehigh Valley Phantoms making the playoffs for the first time in 2017. And I said to myself, I wonder if my dad would have liked the Amador as a goaltender. I always wondered what my dad would have thought of that. And I always wondered, what life would have been like if my dad would have not passed away. What life would have been like. And I can imagine my dad saying, my dad never really got to experience another playoff, another Stanley Cup. Flyers got to the finals in 85. In 1980, lost to the Islanders. Made it in 85. Lost to the Edmonton Oilers. 87 lost to the Oilers in the finals again. 1997 lose to the Red Wings. And 2009, 2010, it was Chicago. And I just want them to get to the Stanley Cup finals. Now, I don't know if it's going to be this year. It's probably going to be a while. But I didn't just want that for me. I wanted that for him. Because he endured those heartbreaks of the Flyers making it to the Stanley Cup finals, only to be eliminated. Because I want that for him. I really do, Not just for me, not just for me, but for my city. But for my dad. But for all the Flyers fans. Just like me hoping for something good to happen. And it's just tough. It's really tough. It sucks and I hate it. But you know what? I'm not going to give up. It's going to be a long shot that this team makes the playoffs this year. But you know something? My whole life has been a long shot. My whole life has been a long shot. I never thought that at 39 years old, I would have still been here. But here I am, still going strong, and still support my Flyers. I never thought that. I never thought that I would have survived what happened to me in 2017. But here I am today. Here I am today. I'm grateful for that. I am grateful for that. I know that not making the playoffs, it really sucks. But I'm not going to let it affect my health, affect my life, and affect my happiness. Because there's other things besides hockey in my life that can truly make me happy. And that's all I gotta say about that. Good night, everybody. I hope you all have a good night. And hopefully, maybe things will turn around for this Flyers team. I'm really hoping things turn around for this hockey team. And even if they don't, oh well, that's just how it goes. But I will never stop loving the Philadelphia Flyers. That will always be my hockey team. No other team can replace the Philadelphia Flyers in my life. No team at all. I'm a true blue fan through the end. Through the good times and the bad, Flyers hockey will always be a part of my life. Not the whole part of my life, but it will have a part in my life always. I will never give up on this hockey team. I will never quit. And I've had people tell me, you're a loser. Get out of your mom's basement. I had some rando say that to me today. And my family, they stuck up for me today. That rando idiot had no idea what he was talking about. He had no room to talk. With that being said, let's go Flyers for the good and the bad. No matter what, I believe in orange and black.